This is how I would buy JunkGuys in Dallas, Texas, and turn it into a multi-million-dollar business. Let's jump in. What's up, guys? I'm Andrew. I'm a serial entrepreneur, a software engineer, and an ex-junk removal business owner. I started a junk removal business as a stepping stone to return to my passion of technology and apps. I invite you guys to stick around, hang out, follow me on my journey from recently selling my junk removal business to building a billion-dollar home services app called Autopilot. And that is true. If you guys want to skip all of this and just get to the meat and potatoes of the video, go right here. All right, guys, I am doing something insane, something I've never done before, and there's only 50 spots. So if you want to succeed in junk removal and have an almost guaranteed outcome of succeeding, because I am teaching everything, way more than any of the other gurus out there. They're charging thousands of dollars. I'm going to give you a 20-hour, $1,000 course. I'm doing 6 months of coaching, 2 classes a month, and also 1 Q&A per month. The classes will be recorded. There is countless resources with my pricing sheets, door hangers, contracts, Google Ads, negative keywords, call recordings of my actual VAs crushing it on the phones. I mean, it is insane. And what gets even crazier is I'm going to include a 50-page website made specifically for junk removal, SEO optimized and ready to go. The only thing you'll have to do is just configure it and change some of the text and add the logos. That's on you to deploy it, but it is a $5,000 value. And I'm not kidding when I say that, because this is 50 pages. This is literally $15,000 in value that if I were to mentor somebody and I were to give you my course and I were to do this website for you, there would have to be an insane price tag. If you guys want to know when the first class starts, just check the video description. All the information will be down there. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. You get all of this for free if you sign up for Autopilot and use Autopilot at $50 a month. This price will go up to $150 a month next month. So this is only available for the next 30 days. So take advantage of this now. Sign up for Autopilot now. I hope to see you guys inside. Let's talk about the Junk Expo. October 24th to the 25th, I'm one of the speakers. This is going to be a crazy event. It sold out last year, and I think tickets are only like $250 for 2 days, 12 speakers, 20 vendors, drinks, food, amazing time, networking. I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna be talking about some cool stuff. I'm gonna obviously be talking about my software, but I have some huge announcements I'm gonna be making at the event. I'm also giving away a $10,000 dump trailer at the event, no strings attached. I hope to see you guys there. If you want to buy a ticket, go right here, junkexpo.com with a hyphen in the middle of Junk Expo. Let's get on to the real stuff. All right, guys, we got my notes that I printed out here. Today, we are going to discuss Ricardo from JunkGuys. So if you don't know, definitely go check out his YouTube channel. All the links will be in the video description. Let's just say he's a buddy of mine. We met at JunkCon 3 years ago now, maybe? I don't know. I used to watch his videos when I started junk removal, and I even called him one time to get a little bit of advice when I first started my business. And we've been buddies ever since. He came out to my event. I spoke at his Dallas event. I want to say, was it last year at the Junk Summit? And you can see that video here. He's a very controversial character in the junk removal community. I thought it'd be interesting if I took his business, if I were to buy it, because he's been making little hints here and there that he's gonna just go straight to his haunted house. I made a joke at buying his business, and you know, I wish I could, because I would do all of this. If I wasn't building Autopilot, this is what I do to change his business around. Because I truly think we can take his business from what I think it's worth, and these are based on his numbers, allegedly. Nothing has been proven. You know, there'd have to be due diligence, of course, so I want you guys to take that and keep that in mind. These are based on numbers that he said. If they're true, great, but you know, everything would need to go through due diligence. But let's just jump into what he's doing right, what he's doing wrong, and how much he's currently making. If he's truly making what he's making, and it's not an unbelievable number, guys, it's not at all. His margins are very high because he spends no money on ads, he has no equipment, no debt, no loans, no nothing. $385,000 in gross revenue per year with a $290K profit. That's about a 70% margin. Pretty wild, right? At his current standing with the way he runs things, we all know how he runs his business. It's different, let's say. So I would put his business at a 0.5x multiple, meaning I think that somebody would pay no more than $145,000 for his business if the alleged numbers are in fact true. Now, Ricardo, if you're seeing this, obviously I believe you and take everything I say with love. So at a company at his stage where he's at of 18 years in business, he should be at a 3 to 5x multiple. We'll get into that later and we'll talk about EBITDA later. But it's harder to sell his business due to the lack of documentation. There's a saying, a business that looks amazing on paper, but the paper doesn't exist. So if you don't have P&Ls, you don't have bank statements, you don't have tax returns, blah, 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 you don't have a CRM with data, makes it hard to get a higher multiple. Now, let's talk about what he's doing right. He's been 18 years in business. It's probably safe to say his phone just rings from being in business for so long. His numbers just been passed around for 18 years. Great. 15 years consistent on YouTube. He did start off on his YouTube channel posting customer-facing content for residential customers, but he slightly started shifting towards helping people build their business. We're gonna talk about that later. He has 6,000 videos and 27,000 subscribers. Incredible. That channel can be a gold mine if taken a different direction. What up, guys? Are you still watching? Are you liking what you're seeing? If you are, please, it would help me so much if you just commented, asked a question if you had a question, and if you really like this, subscribe. It means a lot to me. It tells YouTube you like what I'm doing, and it also lets me know that you like what I'm doing. So please like, comment, subscribe. Back to the video. Aged established website. He has multiple websites that are old domains, and they've been consistently junk removed. Like they haven't been domains that have been purchased and resold and purchased. It's stayed JunkGuys for 10 years. I don't know how long he's had his website. I remember looking up one of his website domains. I think it was only 10 years old. Before that, he had a blog. It gets a little complicated, but he has an aged established website domain, which means he ranks pretty well. He ranks very well on most keyword terms. I mean, he's got 6,000 YouTube videos that also pop up in the organic Google SERPs, search engine result pages. And yes, I know there's the AI SEO stuff going on right now. I'm not gonna worry about that this video. So strong name, great name. He's got multiple locations, but they're not really locations. They're just, we'll talk about that later. He laid a foundation. Now it's time to build a skyscraper on it. And there's a lot you can do with his business. You guys can take what I'm saying and apply this to, like, if you're gonna buy a junk removal business, think about, I don't know what I'm talking about, maybe give you guys some ideas. Now, let's go over the shoulda, coulda, woulda. Just real quick, what he did wrong, the major things that I'm just like, oh man, would have been nice. It just feels bad. I don't even like talking about this because it's like, it would have been nice, but too bad, so sad. If he would have been using a CRM for the last 18 years, he'd have all of the customers' info, addresses, phone numbers, jobs, how much money, he'd have some crazy fucking reporting, right? And he'd have a database of probably like 18 years of customers. Jeez Louise. Minimum 15K customers, right? But I hear him talking constantly. He's doing 3 to 9, 10 jobs a day. So he's easily at 20, 30,000 customers he would have had in his database that he could have done remarketing campaigns, text campaigns, email campaigns, postmark campaigns, voicemail drop campaigns. Fuck, just a once a year, just sending even thank you cards, and then once a year, the possibilities. No tax returns, not strong tax returns on purpose. You know, you want to show strong tax returns to get a higher multiple of EBITDA. Everybody in this game plays the buy equipment at the end of the year, spend as much as you can to show lower on your taxes so you can pay lower tax, but you show lower income on your business and personally, which just hurts you. It makes it harder to get better loans if you ever wanted to pull a loan, and it makes your valuation less of your company. So when you play the hiding money on taxes game, you kind of just shoot yourself in the foot. No P&L statements, it goes without saying. He has no bookkeeping, no accounting records. It'd be impossible to do due diligence on this besides, you know, unless he started tracking things now, and you can, you know, kind of like gauge things over the next 90 days or something. Obviously, no numbers of anything, no remarketing strategies are in place, no customer database. And his YouTube channel has gone a different direction than I think it should go, because his YouTube channel was very powerful of generating leads for the first 10 years of his journey, posting great how-to content, and you know, how to remove a YouTube, how to remove a hot tub, how to blah, blah, blah. So shoulda, coulda, woulda. But we're gonna course correct. That is the shoulda, coulda, woulda, the what he's doing right, and the how much he's currently making. Let's dive into this. There are 5 major things that I would change in this business immediately to turn this business around and try to get a 3x to 5x multiple in the next 2 to 3 years. You know, we'd have to have some solid tax returns to then prove to a serious buyer. The first thing is, it goes without saying, accounting. That is the first thing. We have to start filing proper tax returns. We have to have P&L statements. We have to start declaring all cash income. We have to maintain QuickBooks. We would just set up QuickBooks. The accounting is the easy part, right? Start showing what we're making, reporting it, and telling the IRS and paying Uncle Sam. Yeah, that sucks, but that's life. You know, I went through a broker and did due diligence with multiple buyers. It all comes down to P&L statements, also known as the income statement, and tax returns, okay? This is how you prove how much you're making, and you get usually a multiple of your EBITDA, which is basically the profit. You know, EBITDA is a little more complicated. Speaking of EBITDA, if you guys go check out this video here, I break down EBITDA, but EBITDA is a simple way of measuring your business core performance of how well your business is doing without taking into account the interest, the taxes, the depreciation, and amortization. It just shows at the core how well your business is doing outside of all the loans and the taxes, because all of that can be reconsolidated and fixed. When a private equity firm comes in, they don't need all that other stuff. They just want to see, how's the business operating day to day? How well is it performing outside of the good or bad decisions you made based on depreciation, interest, taxes. Taxes is geography, you know, that's where you live, and you know, there's certain tax things you can do. So good investors and private equity firms know that, hey, let's just see how's the core performance of this business doing based on EBITDA, because all this other shit can be fixed for the most, sometimes, right? That is the basics to my understanding of EBITDA. You get a multiple of your EBITDA, profit kind of, and that is what's shown on your tax returns and your P&L statements. And that's just one variable, and we're gonna talk about what increases and decreases the valuation of a company towards the end of this video. Accounting, that is the first thing. Number two, guys, Ricardo does not use a CRM. He does use Google Calendar, where he puts in his jobs and his customers' information and all that stuff, and he treats that as his CRM, but of course, it's not a CRM. He told me he's been using Google Calendar pretty consistently for the last 5 years, and he puts all of his customers' information in there. So the first thing I do is set up a CRM, start tracking everything. So we have data, we have KPIs like average job size, repeat customer rate, and eventually getting our LTV to CAC ratio, how many jobs per month we're getting. There's so much data that we can get from a CRM, most importantly, starting and building our customer database up. But I'd hire a VA to go through the Google Calendar and add, for the last 5 years, all of the customers into the database. He averages, sometimes it's 10 jobs, sometimes it's 5. So we're just gonna do 5 times 30, 150 jobs a month. Times 60 months over 5 years, that'd be 9,000 customers that we can have a VA get into the database. Even if it was 5,000 or 3,000 customers, that's a fucking start, bro. So that's the first thing, is we'd set up the CRM, we'd start inputting all the previous data that we could from the Google Calendar and start measuring performance of the business so that we can see how much are we actually making, what is our average job size, and then we can really have some solid data going into the future, because there is so much you can do with a CRM. It's not just storing customers into a database and being able to remarket to them. There's so much more value when it comes to the data, what you can do with the data. That's the second thing, guys, setting up a CRM, also known technically field service management software with the sprinkle of CRM in it. These are technically field service management tools, Jobber, Housecall Pro, Autopilot, my software. If you guys weren't aware, check it out, please use it. It's better than all the others. Number 3, this is the big one. This is a big one, branding. And this is what separates Ricardo from everybody else. First thing under branding is we got to get his Google My Business set up. His Google My Business sucks. He has like no reviews and a lot of bad reviews. He should have 5,000 Google reviews. He would be killing it even more than he already is, but he refuses to believe that having a strong Google business profile will bring him more business, because he has YouTube and he ranks organically on the SERPs, but still, Google's power is in the near me. People on their phones looking around, near me, the Google Maps, and even just on Google the desktop. A lot of people trust Google Maps. They don't just like to dig through the SERPs. I don't like to dig for businesses through the SERPs. I like to look through the map. That's me. And I know I'm not the only one who thinks like that. So we need to bring his Google My Business back to life. If he's doing 9 jobs a day right now, or whatever, 5 to 9 jobs a day, man, we could stack reviews fast. Like within 3 years, he'll have hundreds of reviews, and then he's getting business, not just from having 18 years of repeats and referrals and compounding interest from just being in business for so long. His Google's gonna start stacking even more. Second, here's the one I'm most excited about, is his YouTube channel. The sale of this company includes these channels, just FYI. His YouTube channel, he's been consistent for 15 years, 6,000 videos, millions of views. And I would rebrand his YouTube channel. It's called Junk Removal Service, JunkGuys, Dallas, Texas. I'd rebrand as JunkGuys, and I'd stop with the educational content. We would turn the YouTube channel from a junk removal business owner's educational channel to a lead machine. And I'd go to point of view style content like Hunter Patrick Dumpire here. It's POV GoPro style content. I'd use Ray-Bans and that oddly satisfying content. It is the ASMR style cleanups and educational how-tos for the customer. You know, you show a customer how to remove a hot tub, people looking up how to remove a hot tub, you'll start to pop up, but they'll just hire you instead if they're in your area. How to remove a trampoline, how to do this, how to do that. He also has a TikTok that's doing well, and then just interesting things that a consumer on the residential or commercial side would hire you for, not somebody who's looking to learn how to make money. So I'd stop the make money help content and transition back into JunkGuys Dallas and blow it up. This is a rebrand, and it would be awesome. It would be incredible. Number 4 is good old advertising. Real quick before I mention this, because his phone already rings from him doing absolutely nothing. He does not worry about anything anymore. His phone just rings forever. He subcontracts half of his jobs because he can't do them. He gives jobs to his son. He used to give jobs to Orson. He just gives jobs away. He could be making more money, but he doesn't want to do employees and get nice trucks and go into debt with a new truck, because when you have employees, you don't want the trucks breaking down and you have insurance, and that's the way he does it. Before I would even consider advertising, we would do all the setup first, do all the rebranding, see how it goes with just me on the truck or you on the truck and, you know, one guy helping you, and just crank and see how the business goes. And then, you know, in 90 days, 180 days, buy a new truck and start this. Number 4. Advertising. From day one though, I would do this. From day one, the day I buy his company, Facebook Pixel, put a Facebook Pixel on all of his websites, every single one of them. This is powerful stuff, especially when he gets so much traffic already to his websites. He's ranked for almost every keyword in Dallas, Texas and Frisco and all that stuff. Is the Facebook Pixel tracks everybody who's ever been from all time. So if he had this Facebook Pixel for the last, whenever Facebook came out with it, freaking however many years ago, he could do a retargeting campaign and target just the people who've actually been to his website. So Facebook Pixel from day one, start gathering that data of people who have visited all 5 of 6 of his websites for the next year, 2 years, 3 years, and just run a Facebook retargeting campaign forever, in perpetuity, on top of normal Facebook campaigns, which we would do later. We're not doing this until we have employees and the businesses, you know, we have another truck, we launch a truck and we get some employees on the truck and get one truck running with employees. We're gonna do some retargeting campaigns, and we're gonna also set up normal Facebook ad campaigns and just start them at $10, $20 a day, just Facebook ads and Google ads. And that's just the first 2 advertising techniques I would do. You know, obviously we'd have SOPs in place for the employees. I'd have the employees putting out yard signs, branding his door hangers. There's so much brand play that he can do because he's branded as JunkGuys. He is JunkGuys brand for 18 years. He doesn't do any brand play. So I would take the brand to the extreme. He doesn't wear branded shirts, he doesn't have polos, he doesn't look professional, he doesn't have the credit card machine, he doesn't have the hats, wrap his trucks. Decals. I would brand the fuck out of JunkGuys and also make everybody else, leading into part number 5. Number 5 is kind of an interesting one because he licenses out his name. He doesn't franchise because he always talks about his 9 locations, right? They are 9 locations, but they're not his locations and they're not franchises. He licenses his name for, I think, $300 a month. If you guys want to start a JunkGuys and use the JunkGuys name, You can pay Ricardo. You just go to his profile and talk to him. I would charge $500 a month and get in all 50 states at $25,000 a month of recurring revenue from just licensing his name. He's already done it 9 times. He could easily do it if he were to set up a funnel. So that would be the only other part of his YouTube channel is it's consumer facing. And then there's another funnel for starting a JunkGuys brand. Not only do you only pay $500 a month, but you get access to him with his coaching calls every month. You get access to his course, and his course is dedicated to helping you build the JunkGuys brand in your state. So he would have a funnel of just getting people to launch locations. Now, ideally, he'd get 2 locations, 2 license deals in each state. 100 locations in total licensing his name at $50,000 a month of recurring revenue. I don't think it's an unbelievable thing to get 50 to 100 businesses to license from him at $500 a month because of his brand and his reputation and his YouTube channel over the last 18 years. I think if he were to really dial in and better content and really amp up or up his YouTube game and take it serious and change things around, I believe truly over the next 2 or 3 years, he can get 100 people licensing his name. So he'd have $50,000 of extra revenue on top of the, we're gonna try to get him to $1 million revenue from junk removal, like easily. He's making, we're at 400K, we crank him up to $1 million, which is easy with Google ads and Facebook ads and how much revenue he's already doing. And we start retargeting his existing customers for the last 5 years. That's in his Google Calendar. And we do all the other marketing strategies. We do some SEO. We just start crushing it on every avenue, right? He'll get to $1 million within, you could do it in the first year. The right business operator can crank him to $1 million the first year. It's just getting the operations in place. So it's accounting, FSM setup, branding, advertising, and the license plate. Those are the 5 key components of his business that I would dive into immediately and start pushing. What up, guys? Are you still watching? Are you liking what you're seeing? If you are, please, it would help me so much if you just commented, asked a question if you had a question. And if you really like this, subscribe. It means a lot to me. It tells YouTube you like what I'm doing, and it also lets me know that you like what I'm doing. So please like, comment, subscribe. Back to the video. What does all this mean now? How do we value a business? What increases the valuation of a business, right? What increases or decreases? What I'm about to talk about is what I've learned from watching in Alex Hormozi's videos and going to Alex Hormozi's workshop. He taught private equity on how he buys, scales, and sells companies and what he would look at to determine buying into your company and bringing it into his portfolio. He sold a percentage of his company for $46.2 million, and he plays with the big boys. PE firms don't usually look at businesses that do less than 5 million EBITDA. Now remember, usually, this is what I was taught, this is what I was told, and I trust Alex Hormozi from what I've learned. And also selling my business, I'm a little guy who sold my business, but what these value adders and value subtractors I'm about to go over, take with a grain of salt. You might get somebody who doesn't look at all this and they'll just make you an offer because they think it's worth that. But these are what professional investors, PE firms, and sophisticated buyers will look at. Let's start with the 4 major things that increase the valuation of your business. Obviously, number 1 is going to be the year-over-year revenue growth. Are you stagnant, staying at 400K a year? Now, if you're just at 400K a year and you have tax returns to show 400K, great. You're still gonna be able to sell your company. But the thing is, I said value adders. If you are growing, you can get a higher multiple of your EBITDA. So this is just one factor they take in, year over year revenue growth, YOY revenue growth. Customer retention is value adder number 2. That would be, in our case, repeat customers. So recurring versus reoccurring. Recurring is like a monthly subscription. We know it happens every month. It's predictable. Reoccurring is like Coca-Cola. People will buy Coke from the movie theaters, from the stores, from a restaurant. It's always consumed from the same person. They reoccur, but it's not a guarantee of when. We are obviously reoccurring, and our customers' retention / repeat customer rate is like, for residential, I'd say it's 5 to 10%. Commercial, it really just depends. And most commercial jobs are reoccurring. You're on a vendor's list. You don't actually have a monthly contract unless you're like in valet trash or something. And that is with text message remarketing and email remarketing and postcards. And you can actually crank up your customer retention. That's a value adder. strong EBITDA margins, right? So that is, you make $1 million top line, what do you profit at the end of the year before the tax man? So if you make $1 million, I made $250,000, 25% margins. The stronger the margins, it's a value adder. If you're between 20 and 30%, you're standard. If your margins are above 30%, you can start getting a little bit higher of a multiple. Another one that people look at is LTV to CAC ratio. What is the lifetime value of a customer and what is the customer acquisition cost? So that's just the ratio between the two. How much money could you pour in and how much money can you get back, right? That is LTV to CAC. I have a video here where I talk about KPIs, LTV, CAC. In our case, it's not necessarily lifetime value, it's LTGP, lifetime gross profit. So the lifetime value of the customer minus the cost of goods sold would be your LTGP. The higher the ratio, the more you can get for your company. Now let's talk about value subtractors. Value subtractors are what decrease the value of your business and make it less desirable, meaning you'll get a smaller EBITDA. So when I'm talking about these value subtractors, guys, the point of this, what we're going through, is to add the value adders and remove the value subtractors to increase your multiple of EBITDA that you can sell your business for. The first one is gonna be key person risk. This means, can the business run without you? So this is a big one. Is the person buying a company business or is the person buying a job? It's not to say you can't sell your company if it doesn't run itself. You can absolutely sell. You're just most likely gonna get a 1x EBITDA. Unless you have outstanding other value adders that make your business impressive. You have things that can really propel your business. There's things like the YouTube channel. Most people don't just have a YouTube channel with 30,000 subscribers that they can, tack on that could actually have serious potential. You're gonna most likely get 1x EBITDA if you're just selling a job. So the next value subtractor is a key client risk. Do you have a big whale? And that is the source of 70% of your business revenue. If you have one commercial client that you rely on, bad. Don't do that. Remove the key client risk. Get other whales, get more whales, or get enough smaller people to, if you lose this whale, your business doesn't suffer. Key client risk. Single channel risk. Do all of your leads come from one place? I had single channel risk. All of my leads came from Google. Now, over the 2.5 years, of course, I built up a database of customers and remarketed, and I had repeats and referrals, but I was solely relying on Google. Had I stopped my Google ads or something happened with Google ads, I'd be kind of fucking shit out of luck. Don't ever have single channel risk. Market risk, we're not really in a market risk, and you don't count competition as a market risk. You think the newspaper industry when the internet came. That is a market risk, not competition, because you can stand out with competition. Don't think market saturation. Market saturation simply means that the consumers are there. So that's not what the buyers are looking at. If a private equity firm is looking to buy you, that's not the issue. Market risk is the market unstable? Is this going to disappear? The last value subtractor is data risk. Data risk is not having accounting records and having CRM data. If you're not able to measure the performance of your business and see how much money you've done, and accounting is great for bookkeeping and like knowing your numbers and P&L and all that stuff, but CRM data is way more powerful. You can do way more with CRM data. That's the thing about CRM data, is it's live, updated to the second. How much money you're making this second, this day, this week. The KPIs, the key performance indicators that you can pull out of a CRM, you can't do with accounting. Okay, accounting numbers. You need both. If you do not track your numbers on both the accounting side and the CRM side, FSM side, you're at a data risk. Those are the 4 value adders, the 5 value subtractors, a very oversimplified version of how a PE firm would look at valuing the multiple of EBITDA that you would get for your company. So if you don't have any of this and you have really bad value subtractors, you have no value outers, you might not even get a 1x EBITDA. You might, but guys, at the end of the day, your business is worth what somebody is willing to pay. This is a way to, for sure, increase the valuation of your business. And also, even if you don't plan on selling it, this is just good stuff to do. Do you want to be reliant on one whale? Do you want your business crumble when you walk away? Do you want to be reliant on one source for leads? Do you want to be at a market risk? Do you want data risk? Do you not want numbers? What doesn't get measured doesn't get managed. If you are not tracking your numbers, it's going to be hard to improve on the numbers if you don't have the numbers to look at. That is how I would change the Junk Guys brand around. If you guys have any questions, please comment down below. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you so much. And as always, I leave you guys with this. Success is often covered in dirt, but so was gold at one point. Toodles! Whoosh. This product, I know I can truly turn into $1 billion company. The benefits outweigh the cost. And make sure that we have the best software in the world. My software, Autopilot, is finally here. I truly believe we are going to be the best platform. This will be the software of choice in the home service industry.